Hey guys, I'm Caleb.
I'm Joshua.
Hey guys, I'm Lulu.
And this is the Group Sessions podcast. Paul is going to be joining us real soon, but he'll introduce himself as soon as he comes. Well, first of all, we just want to say thank you so much to those who listened to our previous session, our first group session. And we just wanted to say thank you so much for the feedback we got. We're just so grateful for all the love that you all have shown and the support and the engagement. And we're so excited for this journey to go on with y'all. And thank you for joining the Group Sessions family, even if this is either your first episode you're listening to or the second episode. So today we want to talk about difficult people and relationships and how we're able to assess our relationships, because going in life you always have to deal with people, right? Okay, so with the two of y'all, when would you say was the last time you guys had to deal with a difficult person?
This morning. Even though we are in social distancing, whatever, you still have to do school over Zoom and whatever, and we still have to hand in our assignments and everything. So I think sometimes we still have to deal with difficult people,
Honestly, if I'm being mature, like if I'm like, if I'm telling the truth, the last difficult person I had to deal with was myself. Because some people think that they're incapable of being difficult. And it's really just never sometimes it's not the other person. Sometimes it's you.
True.
You the difficult one.
Yo, that's hectic. That's next level.
And the thing is, I literally put that down in my notes. Of how we have to assess how much weight we put onto relationships ourselves, and not get angry with other people and all. So yeah, it just leads us to our topic today. Today we are talking about people and how we're able to interact with people. And I took out some of my notes that I've made. I probably made this maybe about 6 months ago on a revelation that I had of relationships with people and what I've learned, right? So first of all, I wrote here first of all, I realized that God always exceeds himself, and there's always something that he can do that exceeds the last thing he did, right? But things stand in the way, and the things that stand in the way most of the time are usually people, right? And a lot of the time it isn't really a what, but like a who. And I've learned that if we don't learn how to deal with difficult people in our lives, chances are we're going to be leading very miserable lives, because, we cannot control people. The only person we can control is ourselves and our response, controlling people.
I feel like my take on difficult people is like, I don't really, because I know that I can be a difficult person. When I'm giving someone advice on how to deal with the difficult person, first of all, it's like I'm giving you advice on how to deal with me, and like, because like, okay, wait, I might be difficult, right? But like, I'm not difficult for everyone. like our energies. Sometimes people just have different energies, and so you think that he or she, whatever, they're difficult, but then their energy just doesn't match yours. You feel me? So like if you're in that type of situation, then instead of trying to fix a person or change them or like, I don't know, do whatever, just leave them in their element, just remove yourself from the equation completely, because you can't be fighting with a person for 1 year saying, this person is difficult, I can't deal with them. It's not worth it. And then you're acting like you're glued to the floor. Like there's room to move. You can
Exactly. I mean, there is such a thing as cutting people out, and I've become too good at that. And I know it's unhealthy though.
But I think also in there's certain people when we can't cut off, even though they're difficult people, because we have to work with them maybe for a project or it's teamwork or something like that. And I think it's imperative that we learn to deal with difficult people,
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's true.
as much as you can cut off people, you can't use that as a coping mechanism, and I've learned
Yeah,
that it's
there is
become
a
really
limit.
unhealthy. Yes, like one thing I would do is like I would just delete numbers, or I'd block people, or and cut people off. But then I learned that it becomes unhealthy when you doing that with everybody. I'm talking about like when you're doing
Yeah.
that with everybody, and you'll just do the smallest thing and I'm already cutting you off,
And I think
I feel like
with
something
some
that has to do
people,
with like people being difficult is like if you're also trying to deal with a difficult person, then just like I feel like you should constantly remind yourself of that person's limit. Like what they can do. So then don't put yourself in a position where you'll have to be like, yo, this person is so difficult. Like just
Yes.
like find a way around it, Don't
This is who they
I don't know if
are,
I'm making
and this is
sense.
how I can
You feel
cope.
me?
Yes. No. Yes, you're making sense. Yeah.
so yeah, and I think sometimes with certain people, it's not that everybody is difficult, I think also we have the friendships and family members where there's certain things that obviously within any relationship you'll have like bumps on the road, and certain things you need to like work through. And then there's also certain things where you can see, okay, this is toxic for me, and this is a situation where I do have to cut somebody off. But like, just because there was one bump in the road doesn't mean you must cut the person off completely.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And everybody's tolerance level is on a different level. Some people can only take so much, where other people, can handle so much and see past that. And when I was looking at when I was like meditating on this, and then I actually went to scripture, and I went to Matthew 7 verse 16 to 20, which says, "You will know them by their fruit. Do men pick grapes from thorns, or do men pick figs from thistles? Is it true every good tree has good fruit? Every bad tree has bad fruit. A good tree cannot have bad fruit. A bad tree cannot have good fruit. Every tree that does not have good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire, so you will know them by their fruit." So I found that, we may ask ourselves, how do I know if you are going to be a good friend? How do I know if I could date them? How do I know if I can take the relationship to the next level? How do I know if I should like open up my heart and let them in? And I learned that you will know them by their fruit. Just by reading that passage, you'll know people by their fruit. I mean, you can't fool me forever. The fruit will eventually tell me what kind of tree it is. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But like on that note, like, okay, what if so you see the way you and Josh are brothers. So, but now Josh has a difficult element to him. It's not like you can just now say, "Hore, okay, I'm done with Josh. I'm not going further with him." So how do you deal with that, like, as a person, when it's someone you can't actually cut off, or you're in a relationship for 3 years, then this person starts switching up on you. You know what I'm saying? So now what do you do?
Yes.
Like, how can you deal with that situation?
Exactly. Look, I mean, the thing is, we have to come to terms that there are some people in our lives that we can't cut off. I mean, dude, you can't cut off your mother because she told you to go do the dishes 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm not moving with that energy. But, really, it's like, there's certain people that we can't cut off. So that means, I think we need to it's always a thing of assessing ourselves. Always assessing ourselves a lot. Okay, why am I getting annoyed with this person? Why is, do I have a problem where my tolerance levels aren't well? Because remember, at the end of the day, we all have to practice love. Every single day, we're practicing love, we're practicing joy, we're practicing peace. And, we need to be like, okay, where can I work on myself? And, some people are just really difficult, actually. Like, some people are really difficult. Like, as much as you're trying to, like, your love walk will be tested every single day with this person. And now you can't cut them out. So, look, I mean, one thing I found to be is, when you still extend love towards them, or you can even sit down and have a conversation with them and be like, yo, listen, dude, this is how you're moving funny, and I really want you in my life. I don't want to cut you off. Let's have a conversation, a grown conversation.
Exactly.
About
yes.
exactly.
I feel like you
like,
can't really get mad at someone unless you've already told them you've addressed the issue. Like you can't now just stop talking to someone. They don't even know what they did wrong. Like you have to also grow up and
education.
Like, yo, bro, I don't like the way you move and you feel.
Exactly.
And like if you don't do that, then the fault really lies within you, because people aren't mind readers.
And I think, like we say, in any relationship, communication is very important. I think one thing some people don't realize is that nobody's a mind reader. You actually have to communicate what you're feeling, or what's your opinion on a certain topic. And I think when also talking about difficult people, there's obviously the people who's louder and more opinionated, and then you get the people who's quieter, but they're not necessarily less opinionated, but they just keep their opinion to themselves. I think it's just important that communication should be key in any relationship.
Yes.
And I think also love should be the driving force here. And if love is the root, then you see everything will stem from love. And
exactly.
Also, I feel like I should add that there is a difference between someone being difficult and someone just not being what you made them to be. You know what my mom told me?
Yes.
My mom was like, I can't go to the shops and buy, let's say I buy you shoes and I buy you size 3 shoes, but you're a size 6, and then I get mad at you for being a size 6, but I didn't tell you that I'm going to buy you shoes.
Really.
You also can't give people expectations and then get mad when they're not the person that you painted them out to be.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly. Because I said the other day, I tweeted, I was like, you know what, listen, your faults. Okay, wait, hold on. Let me put it in the right way. I basically said the way you imagine to me, the way you imagine me to be is not my responsibility. The image you've created in your head is not my responsibility. I'm responsible for who I am. I mean, some people will link up with you 3 years later and then be like, oh, you changed, or oh no, you're a different person, or they expect you to be the same person you were 3 years ago, talking about baby type of things, and like now you've grown, now you've changed, and now people still have this expectation on you, and they're like, what, I want you to be the same way that you were 3 years ago. Yo, Paul.
I feel like it's always the people that don't grow that are always like, oh my word, you've changed. I think it's the people that don't grow that are always the ones saying, oh my word, you've changed so much and stuff, because they just remain the same always.
Yes.
And it's just like that thing of like they feel uncomfortable with other people's growth because they're incapable of it,
Yes, exactly. I mean, like, the thing is, it's like you only realize how much you've changed when you bump into people from your past and they haven't.
That is
so now, like, okay,
true.
We're running into each other, and then I'm like, oh, yo, I've actually changed a lot. I've actually grown, because, bro, you're still in the same place. You're still talking about the same thing. You're still worried about the same thing. Like, I see no growth. And also, but then again, we can't now view it from an egotistical way, in that type of way where we like, okay, I'm up here and you down there and you need to grow, but you're still able to assess, like,
there's a specific mindset that comes with growth.
Exactly.
And I think in dealing with difficult people, I think it's also important to look at who are you actually dealing with. Are you actually friends with the right people? Because I think if your mindset is different and regarding a certain situations in general, and when you think on a different level, then you will always find
that
they
the
would appear as
conversation isn't
difficult.
right for you. Yeah, because sometimes your morals, you have moral excellence, and these people don't fall into that, and they don't match your morals, and then that's where it can be like, okay, it's really difficult to be around you or have a conversation with you, and maybe you just aren't meant to be together. And that's why I said, like, we ask ourselves, okay, how can we identify if they're a good friend or if we should date them, etc. But we'll know them by their fruit. I mean, you can't fool us forever. Eventually their fruit will come out. I mean, you can come to us moving like you're a kind person, like you're a really cool person to be around and all, and then eventually the fruit will show. The fruit will come out of who you really are. Like
the
who's your character, like
revealing itself.
Exactly, all by itself. And that's why, listen guys, if you listen to, don't judge people off because you guys get along. There are many people we've gotten along with, but they aren't meant to be in your life. Just because you get along with somebody and you think their energy is cool doesn't mean that they're meant to be in your life. Not everybody who has good energy. I mean, there's loads of people out here who has good energy. I can go down the road and find some people with good energy. Doesn't mean they're supposed to be in my life and we're supposed to be together or around each other.
Even though they have good energy, T's and C's still apply, yo.
Oh, facts. Facts, bro.
No.
I'm correct, No, facts. I mean, like, remember how I was telling you guys, like, how, I went to scripture, right? When I was getting this revelation, right? Yeah. And then I looked at, okay, what are the fruits of the Spirit? Because if the Bible says that we judge people by their fruit and we'll know them by their fruit, and then what is the fruit, right? What fruit are we looking out for, right?
Are we looking out for granadillas or what?
Negative. But we're looking out, and then I looked, okay, and then it says that the fruit is love, joy, peace, not giving up, being kind, being good, having faith, being gentle, and being the boss over our own desires. So if you hello I feel like Bishop TD Jakes. Call me Bishop Caleb from now on. Bishop Caleb. Hello.
Bishop Caleb.
So I was looking at that and I was like, okay, if we meet somebody, right, and we're getting to know them, right, we need to look at those fruits and be like, okay, what is their love work like? Do they have joy? Are they patient? Do they have a peace about them? Are they kind? Are they good people? Do they have faith? Are they gentle? Are they even a boss of their own desires? And that's how we judge people, by character, right? And I found that it's like disappointment is the child of false expectations, right? So
I felt it.
if no, for real, because so many people, it's like, listen, at the end of the day, dude, if you aren't expecting anything, you're not going to be disappointed. So obviously, so if you have a false expectation, that's where disappointment's going to come in, right? So like, if you've ever been disappointed, it's because you put an expectation on something or someone and it failed to meet it, or they failed to meet it.
Yeah.
And I think it's also with anything, it's also important to look and have like realistic expectations and things like that. Especially like if we use an example, now in lockdown, you can't be expecting to go to, I don't know, wherever, to the mall tomorrow, but we're in lockdown, and then you want to come be disappointed, but you knew from the beginning what was happening.
That's
and I
true.
think it's the same with relationships with people. You must have realistic expectations,
Yeah, if you put on a false expectation, you are going to be disappointed. That's why it's so important for us to look at what are their character traits before we get into a relationship with them. Because exactly, what's the fruit?
I love this analogy. Oh my word.
Girl, it's straight out of the Bible. I'm not even making this up, bruv. This is straight out of it. Your boy Jesus was out here, bruv. He was out here with the bars, bruv.
He had bars, yo.
No cap.
I've deduced, right, from this conversation so far, is that, like, in my head, like, now, okay, so if you're looking for someone if you're looking at someone, you're supposed to determine their fruits. So if you're
Yes.
determining their fruits, we have to look at people as trees, not so?
Okay.
No, but it's true, though.
Listen,
Okay.
so
Yes.
if people are trees,
Yes.
right? And I'm
Yeah.
trying to go to the desert and find an apple tree, I'll be disappointed. Why? Because I went to the desert. How do you go to the desert and expect the tree to be coming out with apples?
Yeah.
Also, where you find people is like, you can also see from where you find people what type of person they are, you feel?
Yes. Like who they surrounded. I mean, look, bruv. I mean, people will be going to the club looking for a wifey or a husband. You're going to the club to look for a husband, bruv.
No,
Babes is not trying to date, you know. He's not trying to date, you know. I mean, we know Wagwan, they're in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? They are not looking for a wife, bruv. Listen, go to church if you're trying to look for a wifey, bruv. But listen, man, G, you're not finding a wifey in the club. And that's exactly what you're saying, girl. Obviously, where they are and where you meet them and who they're surrounded by will have an effect on what type of tree they are. And you know, the thing is, right, it's like if I had to go around, right, and ask a vast majority of people, like, what would you look for in a woman or a man before dating? What kind of things would you look for in a good friend? Okay, wait, hold on, right? Before I tell you guys my points and the revelation I had about this, tell me, starting with the Lucci, what do you look for in a man before dating?
For me personally, if I look at you and like, what do I look for? I'm like, I look for the way you treat other people, honestly, because the way you treat other people is gonna be like a direct reflection on the way that you'll end up treating me, you know?
Okay.
Also, the type of household you're brought up in, like, I don't know if it's wrong, it's debatable, but I really do look at those things because, like, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, hey? So,
Hey, facts.
if you're finding someone that comes from, like, maybe a dysfunctional home, then that's what you're gonna get.
I mean,
So,
yeah,
those are
you
the
sort
type
of
things. I
know
look
the
at
influence.
upbringing.
Okay, so, you know, I love your answers, though. It isn't like the typical I was expecting, which I'll tell you the answers that I mainly get. And you, Paul?
I think that
When you're looking for a wifey,
No,
future
that's
wifey.
I think you can't be looking for such things at our age. Like, I think there's no such thing. Like, as much as people are different, some people might find they're like one and only during this age and time, and you know, props to them. And
Well,
respect them
look, I'm talking
for what
about
they're
like
doing.
more like okay, say you in the future and you're looking for a wifey, right? It's about time. You want to settle down. You want to leave the streets. Streets own you, Paul. You want to leave the streets and you want to find a future wifey, boy. What are you looking for? If she comes correct, what are you looking for?
You know, I think for me, the key, if there's a key to Paul's heart at any time, bruh. If there's one key, my guy.
You better not say something wild, bro.
I'm not gonna say anything wild, my dog. I'm telling you.
What are you looking for?
Make sure that they're listening up, dog. It's consistency, dog. Consistency is key.
Ooh,
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Be
I actually feel
consistent
like
with
fighting
me.
you for
Don't.
this.
And we've got,
You know,
we've got Paul.
I firmly
Consistency.
believe. You know. First of all, guys, let's address something. As men, let's never introduce a woman to a lifestyle that you can't maintain.
Thank you,
Think
babe.
about it.
Thank you.
Bars.
You can't be.
I'm just
you
saying,
can't be
you need to
borrowing
think
your
about
uncle's
these things.
Ferrari to impress, but then
So just
the next.
for me, it's
Right?
consistency. And if you're gonna just love me and care about me, just do that consistently. Don't just stop being like, you know, one day wilding,
Yeah.
then the next day
Like
not wilding.
like
don't
one
be crazy
day,
on me, please. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but
like
what
the
if
next day it's like
what
your
if a
love bundle
girl
is depleted
falls-
or something.
What if a girl falls in love with a Paul that is kind and patient and good morning texts every single day, right? And then Paul decides to stop.
I'm not moving at that.
And then also my consistency is altered because yours was altered. You can't expect me to stay consistent alone.
Nah, but if I'm consistent, if we both agree to being consistent within the relationship, like beforehand, then let's keep our commitment to one another. Let's not
Boys
lie
are
to
never
one another.
consistent.
But look, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's human, right? So we can't expect consistency from everybody. It's impossible for everybody to be consistent forever. Like, and that everybody's strong point with consistency is different. Like, for example, someone going to the gym, maybe they're consistent every single day with, going to gym. But then maybe you have the man who works, he doesn't go to gym, but he's consistent with waking up at 5 every morning. So everybody's like, in a different space where they can be consistent in different areas. But I understand where Paul's coming from, consistency.
Caleb, I think I hear where you're coming from, my guy.
Role, man.
I just think that we don't want to ever mistake like inconsistency for making a mistake. Like there's a big clear difference between the two.
Yeah.
Like yes, I'm not saying that people's feelings don't change. I'm not saying that scenarios don't happen that cause us to act differently, because the way you see a situation is the way you're going to respond to it. And if now you as a human being think you're just going to always act the same way all the time, that's not going to be true. But I'm saying in yourself, you know who you are. You know the type of person that you are.
Exactly.
Don't act out of yourself. Like, keep yourself in check at all times. Don't make me have to keep you in check.
I think consistency is a vital part of any relationship. Okay, Josh, what do you look for in someone before you would even date them?
I think somebody who's I don't want to give like the typical answer, but it's gonna be typical because it's typical. So no, I think when your energy just matches, where you can just feel and see there's a flow between you two, that somebody who's, I don't want to say the typical, but somebody who's loving, all those what's. Yeah.
I get you. Look, the thing is, out of experience, right? Like, the reason why I wanted to ask y'all that before saying what was in my notes that I had was, the thing is, I guarantee, like, now out of experience, the majority of people's answers, if we have to go around, right, today and go ask different people, what do you look for in a future husband or a wife or a friend? The typical answers would be like, I want somebody fun-loving. I want somebody adventurous. I want someone with a sense of humor. I want someone who likes intellectually stimulating conversations. I want someone who is in touch with the emotions. I mean, have you guys ever heard this? I'm sure you guys have heard these.
I think one thing in all those things, it's always I want, but it's not what I can give, Yeah. And I think when people often view going into a relationship, any relationship, friendship, or whether it's dating, whatever, they're always looking for something to complete them, but not looking what they can bring to the table.
Yes.
And in turn,
some
that
people,
other person will
some people don't even know what they can bring to the table.
Services.
Sure. Some people don't even know what they bring into the table, but yet they have all these expectations. Come correct first. If we had to ask those questions, the majority of the answers would be similar, right? If we had to go around and ask the same. But if you notice if you actually look at the answers that I just gave, right? None of the answers that I just listed have to do with character. None of them have to do with character, which is what we assess people by. Remember, guys, we're assessing people by character, right? A lot of the time we look to personality traits to qualify those we are in a relationship with. And then in the end, we wonder why, we end up heartbroken. And after heartbroken, we end up so bitter. Then after, we end up so numb and then emotionally shut down. And then we end up not allowing anybody else in our lives. Like when you just go through that cold phase, like I'm sure you've been through it, where it's like, you're just cutting off this person, and now you're getting, you know.
That cold face.
Nah, I don't ever go through phases like that. That's some whack stuff.
I know, bruv, because you on some other vibes. You know that, Paul. Paul
Man doesn't do
and
nothing
feelings
about
do
that.
not go together, bruv. Paul and feelings do not go together. Paul don't care about your feelings. He don't care about his feelings. He's just out here doing things, bruv. Yo, but
You
but
get left
the thing
behind. You
is,
get
it's,
left behind.
Be like that sometimes. It be like that sometimes. But I mean, like the thing is, it's like, how many times have, people experienced this phase, and then they cut off people, they delete numbers, they block them, they unfollow them. And I can literally personally speak from experience where there was even like this one girl I was talking to, and then we stopped talking, and I cut her off in such a... And I think that is a thing that I've been working on, is where like, okay, like it could be borderline toxic, where it's like you totally act like nothing ever happened between the two of y'all, and you just move on with life. And I'm become too good at acting like we never ever happened. Like I can literally have a conversation with you acting like nothing ever happened, and I will be so good at that. But I also know that is super unhealthy and that's super toxic.
Nah, Caleb,
you
and me, real talk. That's the real stuff. Bear with me.
Yeah.
I genuinely think, like, I feel you on that. Like, I don't know how to explain it. In an honest chat, like, this is an honest podcast. We're having this honest chat. This is me and you. This is us and the listeners right now. I'm just telling
What you better say?
I'll put myself on blast. Like you said, bruh, me and feelings don't mix. They just don't go. So I can
like oil and water.
I can talk to you and have a full conversation with you, like I have known you for, I don't know, for the longest time ever. But then at the same time, we could have gone through like some crazy stuff. We could have gone through the most unhealthy, toxic breakup. And then afterwards, I'm able to talk to you like nothing happened. Like nothing ever happened. Just completely
Facts. Yo,
it happened. I don't know what it's such a cop-out excuse to say that it just happens. But I mean, hey, it happens.
And I think I've experienced that myself, where you in that kind of relationship where you don't actually deal with what happened. So you have a situation happen, and then you end up cutting each other off for maybe like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, and then you just start speaking again or whatever, and then you don't actually deal with what happened, and that's when it happens.
Let me just say something. Let me say something quickly. I gotta just address the topic that is just very problematic at this moment in time.
Okay.
What was I saying, bro? I was gonna say something though.
You're trying to deal with something problematic.
Very problematic.
It was very problematic. Niggas be doing crazy. There was something. I don't know what it was. Anyway, carry on. I'll remember.
Okay. Say less. So look, the thing is, I realized that it doesn't mean that they are a bad person. It means that we had misplaced expectations, and the disappointment was soon to follow anyway. So if we put a misplaced expectation on the relationship, disappointment is soon to follow, because
I think also speaking about, I think when you are like meeting for a common goal, like for instance, if you're meeting for a project or for school or for work or for church or whatever, you're meeting there for something, and if you develop a friendship out of that, it's good, whatever, like that. But I think you shouldn't be going to like work or school or church or whatever looking for friends, because they didn't come there to look for friends. So now you're looking for, you know, like it's like doing now, even, you know, that Easter happened, it's like looking for Easter eggs in the wrong place. You are not even, there's no even Easter eggs in that garden, but you're looking for Easter eggs, you know. And I think make sure you are first in the right place, looking for friends and things like that. And
I mean, look, I personally believe I don't go around looking for friends. I don't believe in looking for relationships. I think it will just come to you and it will just happen. That's why I don't believe in dating sites and blind dates and all that. Nah, most of the time, the majority of the time, it doesn't work out when you're looking for it, because now you're going to have certain expectations and then you're going to place it on them and then they're going to disappoint you, then you're going to get hurt. That's why it must just flow naturally. Like if I'm meeting a shorty, it must just happen naturally.
And I think a good example of that is actually Oluchi and I and Caleb as well. We, the way our friendship came together actually was at the Starbucks. We didn't go there to meet somebody. They didn't come there to meet somebody, but we ended up at Starbucks and we ended up sitting together and talking and whatever. And I think that's how the friendship is so strong as well, because
it's not like we together because we have school or
we had to be together.
Yeah, you know, we had to be together. No, it's like because we want to be together. Like the whole of Ecstasy and ourselves, because we want to be together, we make the effort to get together. You know what I'm saying? It's not because, we have to now because school, we have to see each other because we have school tomorrow, you know? Nah. It's like a genuine
going back, sorry, Caleb, just going back to what you were saying. You were speaking about how just relationships just come to you. I know a lot of people would disagree and they'll be like, you know, I don't understand what you mean. Relationships just don't appear out of nowhere. People don't just appear out of nowhere. And I'm just like, you know, people do appear out of nowhere. It is the truth. It's just that we get too wrapped up in the fact that,
and those are the best relationships,
I'm telling you, just it's about,
because everybody wants to plan everything.
You don't have to plan anything. You have to first of all accept the fact that you're in this moment with someone. So, for example, just social tip: whenever you meet anyone, or if you ever want to like make a new friend or whatever, comment on the current scenario. That is an immediate like basis for conversation. If you're in the shopping mall, talk about the shopping mall. Talk about groceries, talk about sweets, talk about this. Like, that's a simple conversation starter. Like, don't be afraid about what this person has to think about you, like, based off what your appearance is. Just have that heart of just wanting to, you know, meet people and just treat everyone kindly and genuinely, like, come there and say hi to the person, like, greet them with a smile, like, show them that you're happy to talk to them. Like, when you show up like that, it really changes everything, man.
Yeah, come correct, bruv. Come correct.
We've got Paul on the friendship starter pack.
Friendship starter pack. If you want the relationship starter pack, you have to pay for my Patreon. I'm telling you. I've got a Patreon page.
Yeah,
please
sign the bag.
The group sessions, Patreon. That private, exclusive things, bro. Exclusive. But yeah.
Dating tips 101.
Yeah, no, facts. You know, the thing is, it's like we need to, my main point is, right, you know, we need to look past personality profiles or how handsome or how gorgeous they are. And then you come into your friend and I think he's the one, or I think she's the one. Because you're going to be big mad. You're going to be big mad when you find out what he doesn't have, what she doesn't have. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, it's like people just think, oh no, he's so handsome. Oh, she's so gorgeous, so she must be the one.
Let them take the toes out. Then you will see the fruit.
Exactly, bruv. You know the thing
like, let me see the toes.
Ooh, guys, I think she's, I think she's the one. I mean, the way she walks in them heels, them ankles. Listen, bruv, ankles be looking ugly once you find out they have an ugly heart, bruv. Stop judging people by the way they look. I mean, appearance is very important. appearance is very important. And that whole
It
analogy
depends.
of don't judge a book. No, that whole analogy of don't judge a book by its cover. Listen, yes, we're not going
We
to
do
judge it
judge
by
books.
its cover. I'm not, look, you know the things. I'm not going to go around and judging the book and be like, no, it's going to be a bad book because of the cover. What I'm saying is, in order for me to even pick up the book, I want to see a nice cover. I'm not going to be picking up a book that I'm not even interested in the look of how it looks. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
That's why I'm saying.
So
I agree so much with you. Just Holland, you and me on the same brain level right now. Like I'm telling you.
And please, and then that brings me to grooming is very important. Please,
Grooming.
don't be coming out here.
All y'all man.
Out here with it's the hair not brushed or whatever, and say they must accept me for who I am.
Groom and
They
proper
will
at all times.
come correct, bro.
all time.
Look, I mean, in a perfect world, nobody's gonna judge you for the way you look.
Yes.
But this isn't a perfect world. So come correct, groom yourself, and and remember, you're not only doing this for other people. You're doing this for yourself. Treat yourself nicely and everything. I mean, I can't remember. Look, I mean, there was this quote that said, "Money rules the world. Women make the world go round." So you can find that a lot of the reason why men groom themselves is for women. That's a whole another topic for another day that we're going to be coming back to another day of grooming ourselves and meeting people. And yeah, so look, we're going to wrap this up. It's been a great conversation and podcast. We hope that
Absolutely.
you guys could have taken
Beautiful.
something from this, taken some notes, learned from some. And also as well, remember, if you're not following us on Instagram already, follow us at the Group Sessions Pod, as well as on Twitter at Group Sessions. Tweet at us, as well as comment on our pictures on Instagram. Let us know what you're thinking of the podcast. What's your opinion on the difficult people who, like, some stories that you have? We would love to hear your stories. I mean, come into our DMs, let us know. As well as screenshot if you're listening to the podcast and tag us. We also will repost it back onto our page as well. But we really want to engage with y'all. You are part of the group. You
And
are part of the Group Sessions family.
we are so thankful for every single one of you, all our listeners, all our family members, Group Session family members.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you for your continuous support and love. And we are so grateful to have you in the Group Sessions family.
Most definitely. We love y'all loads. And until the next podcast and the next session, the next episode, I am Caleb Holland.
I am Joshua Holland.
And I'm Paul.
And we are the Group Sessions. We out. We love y'all. Bye-bye.
Peace. What's up?
Bye.